get over losing a friend that way. And I think I pack it down so far deep inside. You know, it's been 30 years. Hard. One of the worst days I've ever experienced.
We felt like we really failed her as a friend.
Kris Jenner has just been caught breaking down over her past friendship with O.J. Simpson's wife, Nicole Brown, who was found dead in their house 30 years ago. And it looks like her family has not yet come to terms with Kris and the Jenners' role in what happened to Nicole, as rumors of them suing Kris are starting to circulate, especially as a new documentary emerges. Kris Jenner has just recently expressed how she still feels deep sadness about her friend Nicole Brown Simpson's passing, and has gone into more detail than ever about her feelings regarding what happened and the case concerning O.J. Simpson, who her husband was defending in court. Even after nearly 30 years, Kris still seems deeply affected as she talked about her friendship through tears in a new documentary, The Life and Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson.
Get over losing a friend that way. And I think I pack it down so far deep inside. You know, it's been 30 years. Hard. One of the worst days I've ever experienced.
This comes after Nicole's family decided to speak out against O.J. and Kris, as they to this day feel unsatisfied with the way things went down, even expressing happiness at the news of O.J.'s passing.
How did you feel when you heard he died?
Actually, I was happy. I was different than my other two sisters. I was happy.
Nicole Brown Simpson was famously found dead in 1994 outside her home in Brentwood, California, alongside her friend Ronald Goldman. Nicole was only 35 years old at the time and had two children, Justin and Sydney, with her ex-husband O.J. Simpson, who was later accused of the crime against Nicole and her friend. The murder led to the famous trial of the century, where O.J. Simpson was first arrested, but then, to the shock of many, found not guilty. Kris's ex-husband, Robert Kardashian Sr., was one of O.J.'s lawyers who did heavy work to try and prove his innocence in the case. However, because of her husband's connection to O.J., things became very complicated for Kris, who had suddenly found herself being connected to both the victim and the accused. And it wasn't until 1997 that O.J. was found responsible for the deaths in a civil trial, finally being able to give the family some peace of mind. However, while he did go on to serve jail time, it was actually unrelated to this specific case, as he was found guilty for several other crimes for which he was to serve a sentence. And despite all the years that have passed, both Kris and Nicole's family still seem to be heavily affected by the case, as both parties are still very much on the case to this day. This certainly isn't the first time Kris has spoken about Nicole since the incident. However, her family has expressed multiple times how much it hurts to see Kris walk around talking about Nicole. But with this new documentary, Kris has yet again chosen to comment on their relationship. According to her, talking about Nicole is especially hard, as her final words to her were regarding their friend Faye Resnick, who was struggling with substance abuse. Faye had relapsed just 2 days before Nicole's death and had been checked into a rehabilitation facility by Nicole. According to Faye, Nicole cared deeply for her and had only been wanting to make sure she received the help she needed. Faye explained this in the same documentary, saying, "She loved me. She wanted me to be healthy." Kris and Nicole were even making plans to visit Faye in rehab. Nicole even making schedules for the two of them.
I'm gonna go visit Faye and make sure that somebody's there for her every day. So she made a schedule for us.
She also recalled exactly what Nicole's last words to her were.
So I remember it was Nicole's day, and Nicole and I spoke, and she goes, "No, Faye's having a good day. I'm leaving. Your day's tomorrow." That was the last time I spoke to her.
Kris has often talked about how close she was to Nicole. In 2016, even told People magazine that Nicole and O.J. were like family to her. "They were two of the best friends I ever had in my entire life. They were my family. O.J. was like my big brother." So I not only mourn the loss of Nicole, but I mourn the loss of O.J. in that relationship. It's not hard to imagine why comments like this didn't exactly make her popular with Nicole's family. However, despite Robert's decision to defend O.J., which heavily divided divided his family, Kris famously sat on the prosecution's side of the courtroom in support of Nicole. Kris has even said that she believes Nicole's death could have been prevented and feels guilty about not seeing the signs of abuse between the former couple. During an appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2016, she even revealed some dark truths.
We felt like we really failed her as a friend.
Following the trial, speculations of Kris and OJ having an affair started appearing in the media, something that seems to follow her to this day. And when an article about these speculations was published on Nicole's death anniversary in 2019, Kris even became extremely emotional about the situation, as she was quoted saying, "After 25 years, you'd think it just wouldn't be a thing. It's just lie after lie after lie after lie, and it's only so much that one human being can take." It was even revealed that Kris had actually chosen to take legal action against the news outlet that had shared the article, as she felt extremely put off by the entire situation. However, while Kris dealing with the loss of her friend is always in the media, Nicole's own family doesn't get the same privilege, as they to this day are fighting for justice. In fact, it's been an incredibly frustrating journey for both Nicole's family and her friend Ronald Goldman's family, as they have continuously been denied in court and their feelings regarding what's right have been pushed aside, unlike Kris, who always seems to be allowed room to speak about her side of things. According to the families, they haven't received nearly enough of the money that they were owed as a result of the trial, which appears to be as high as $100 million today. Not even OJ's passing this year seemed to allocate them any extra funds, despite the fact that it was revealed that the families might finally get more of what they were owed. In fact, one of OJ's attorneys, Malcolm Laverne, confirmed that the claim filed by Ronald's father, Fred Goldman, would be accepted, something that goes against a comment he had said just days prior. Hope that the Goldmans get zero, nothing. Laverne was forced to retract his statement, as it was made obvious to him that they would indeed be eligible for a claim, and excused his wording by saying he had simply responded to highly inflammatory remarks Ronald's family attorney had said after OJ's passing. It was then revealed OJ's will noted that his personal property would be placed in a trust, but doesn't speak of what would become of his assets or possessions, something which seemingly screwed over both the Goldmans and the Browns. According to the court, it's possible for them to file a claim against OJ's estate. However, it's unclear exactly how much they would get out of it and if it would even be worth it. One source said, "In theory, it's very hard not to pay those debts to the extent there are assets to pay them." The real question now is, how much were his assets? It's allegedly unclear exactly how much money OJ had at the time of his passing, and it was even proclaimed that assessing his possessions might not have the outcome that the families wish. His attorney detailed saying, "You're basically dealing with household items that I can assure you are in your house. Furniture, cabinets, TV sets, stuff that's in an ordinary house." However, according to public records, OJ had quite a lot of corporations under his name, and even his OJ Simpson Enterprises reported to earning almost $1 million in sales this year. This is all extremely alarming for both families, who are still denied justice to this day, as OJ apparently claimed he didn't have the means to pay them at the time of the trial, and because of inflation, that price has only risen. In 2007, desperate measures seem to have been taken, as a judge actually ordered OJ to give the Goldmans a Rolex watch, which actually later had to be returned since it turned out that the watch was fake all along. The money situation has only felt worse for the family because of what they have had to deal with the media and the likes of Kris Jenner, who continuously are called out for trying to capitalize on Nicole's passing. In fact, Nicole's sister Denise Brown has been one of the main people to constantly speak up against the injustice, especially because of Kris's media runs. Many have for years assumed that there is some real hostility between the Jenners and the Browns, and there definitely seems to be some truth to it, as Denise proved to be incredibly upset with everyone involved even years later. Speculations of Denise and the Brown family attempting to sue the Jenner estate have even floated around for years, as they are seemingly extremely against Kris, even speaking up Nicole's name after all they've been through because of Robert Jenner Sr. Despite Kris joining Nicole's family on their side of the courtroom, it hasn't managed to mend any relationship left over with the family, as Denise even criticized what she had written about Nicole in Kris's memoir Kris Jenner and All Things Kardashian in 2011. Denise's main issue with Kris's memoir was the way she continuously seems to attempt to profit off of Nicole's passing, as Denise revealed her true feelings about her waking up the case. Kris Jenner is pathetic. I think most people will question her intentions of writing about my sister's murder. I am really disappointed in Kris. For the past 2.5 years, my family has had some relative peace regarding all of this stuff. Now that Kris has brought it up again, she's split open the healing wounds. For her to write about it is like reliving it all over again. My poor mother is really taking it hard. Haven't the Kardashian Jenners made enough?